The Philippines is one of the most exposed countries in the world to many natural hazards, from earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, typhoons, flooding, landslides, and sea level rise. Our country's evident risk to natural disasters is due to its location, added to the fact that it lies in the Pacific Ring of Fire, which makes it prone to earthquake and volcanic eruptions. The country is surrounded by large bodies of water and faces the Pacific Ocean, where, statistically, 60% of the world's typhoons are formed. As we may recall, one of the most devastating typhoons that hit the Philippines in 2013 was Typhoon Haiyan or Yolanda, which claimed over 10,000 lives and destroyed over ₱1 trillion worth of property and damage to various sectors. Still, there are other environmental problems that we are facing, such as logging, deforestation, wildlife extinction, global warming, and climate change. This episode will help us identify and examine the current policies to reduce risk in the country and the scales of vulnerability, which will help strengthen the resilience of people and society when confronted with danger.
Welcome here to Dynamic Living the Total You. Our dear viewers, listeners, as well as our followers in the YouTube, Facebook, and on television set, we are very much honored to be here at the compound of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources right here in Quezon City at the office of Attorney Jonas Leones, who is the Undersecretary for Policy, Planning, and International Affairs of the DENR. We are going to discuss a very interesting topic on how we will be able to help them out, we as a Filipino people, on how we can be resilient and to be able to understand what disaster risk management is all about. So magandang araw po sa inyo, Yusek.
Magandang araw, Doc Jean, at sa iyong mga maraming taga-panood.
Opo. So ngayon po, napansin po natin, ang inyo po November month celebrates environmental awareness, climate change, clean air month. Heto po ba pag sinabi natin na November month celebrations, ano po ang ibig sabihin po nito, Yusek?
Ang foremost objective namin why we're celebrating these occasions is basically to inform the public that caring for the environment is everybody's responsibility, considering that we have a lot of calamities happening in our country. There was landslides, there was flooding. So during the month, we will intensify our information drive so that there will be awareness and then they can protect themselves against calamities.
Opo, pag sinabi po kasi ninyo na awareness, information drive, kaagapay niyo po kami. Kaya namin, pinuntahan kayo talaga, sinadya namin kayo. Heto po ba, attorney, pag sinabi mong resiliency, ano pong ibig sabihin natin yan?
Resiliency, ang ibig sabihin, Doc Jean, nandyan na kasi yung climate change. Nandyan na yung mga pagbabago ng klima, nandyan na yung mga sakuna. So, hindi naman natin may iwasan dahil ito talagang phenomenon ito. So, pag sinasabi natin resilient, kailangan patibayin lang natin na maka-adapt tayo dito sa mga nangyayari sa atin. Hindi natin pwedeng pigilan. Talagang dapat given, kumbaga sa equation, given na yan. So, what we mean by resiliency is that we are enhancing our capability to survive these phenomenon.
Ibig sabihin po noon, attorney, para sa ating mga tagapagpakinig sa radio din, pag sinabing resilient, meron tayong adaptability, yung sinabi ninyo.
Umaangkop siya doon.
Okay. So, ano po ba ang mga epekto nitong climate change ngayon, lalo na we have been visited by typhoons, we have these landslides, we have this flooding, yung sinabi niyo po kanina. Ito bang climate change na ito is kumbaga, the umbrella term that will cover, bakit tayo nagkakaroon nito?
Oo, kasi depende ito sa, dati, ang pangyayari ng, ito yung climate change talagang hindi natin may iwasan. Ito yung, base sa aming pag-aaral, ito yung resulta rin ng pagiging develop ng isang bansa. Kasi dati-dati, wala naman tayong masyadong mga makina, wala naman tayong mga vehicles, mga factories. Dahil umuunlad ang isang bansa, so dumadami yung mga activities doon. Kaya lang, itong mga activities doon, hindi masyadong consistent dun sa environment natin. Like for example, kung yung mga factories nag-i-emit siya ng mga masamang usok, yung mga tubig naman napupollute din because of the development. So, ito may mga impact ito. Like for example, yung emission natin, ito nakakaroon ng parang epekto sa ating temperatura. So, yung mga greenhouse gases natin, dumidikit dito sa atmosphere natin. Ang tendency nito, yung mapasok na init sa bansa, sa mundo natin. So, hindi na siya makalabas kasi natatrap siya ng init doon. So, nagbabago yung ating klima. Sa mga ibang epekto nito, yung yelo natin sa may North Pole, natutunaw yan dahil sa sobrang init na nga. So, nagkakaroon ngayon ng pagtaas ng tubig. So, yung mga low-lying areas natin, nagbabaha din. Tapos, dahil iba yung situation, mainit, as malamig, ito yung nakikreate ngayon ng mga typhoons natin. So, makapansin mo ngayon dati ng mga bata-bata tayo, Doc Jean, alam natin kung kailan ang summer. Alam natin kung kailan tayo mainit, kailan malamig. Pero ngayon nagtataka tayo, even during summer months, uulan naman. Then, in situations wherein ni-expect natin na uulan, sobrang init naman. So, ito na yung tinatawag nating new normal. Hindi na siya yung dating, alam natin, define.
So, ibig sabihin, kailangan alam ng bawat isa sa atin na there are certain things now which is beyond what we are expecting.
Tama.
And so, we should be able to adapt to these changes.
Kunwari, sabihin natin, itong araw na ito, mainit. Wala namang pagdala ng dapat light lang. Pero bigla pala uulan. So, ito yung tinatawag natin, we are enhancing yung pagiging resilient nila. Na-expect na nila na bago na ang situation niya, magbabago ka na dapat ng strategiya to protect yourselves. So,
let's talk about, attorney, hetong water pollution. Kasi alam naman natin na part ng ating tubig, ang ating, lalong-lalo na sa metropolis na mga areas, water is scarce. Alam naman natin yan. And there is even a projected data that sometime in 2025, galing nga po din sa inyo yan na data analysis na in 2025, we may even have problems with the water supply.
Sa ngayon, kasi base sa tama-tama yan, ang magiging, Doc Jean, ang nagiging problema kasi natin dyan, we have still a lot of water supply. Hindi naman talaga supply ng tubig ang ating nagiging problema. Ang problema natin ngayon kasi yung distribution. In some part of the country, like for example, Mindanao and Visayas, marami pang tubig na nakukuha. Lalo na pristine pa yung kanilang forest doon, marami pang tubig siya. Pero dito sa Metro Manila, yung mga urban cities, doon nagkakaroon problema. Like for example, sa Metro Manila.
Metro Cebu, I think they're going to have problems with water too.
Yes.
Davao.
So, ang point kasi dito, nauubos na Kasi, ang nangyari dyan, hindi lang yung groundwater nila doon, Doc Jean, alam na natin, Doc. Parang nagkakaroon ng saltwater intrusion doon sa groundwater.
Yung galing sa ilalim
lumalabas na. So, ang nangyari doon kasi, over-extraction na tayo Dahil ang Metro Cebu, ang Davao, nagiging developed area na yan. Marami ng mga factories, marami ng mga activities.
At dumadami ang tao,
dumadami ang tao. Lumalakas yung demand sa tubig. So, nangyari, konti lang naman resource. So, ang mga iba talagang hindi naging sustainable ang pagkuha nila.
So, paano yung cleanliness ng water supply natin as of the moment? Kasi alam naman din natin na there is such a thing na yung mga septic tanks natin, di ba, nandun din yun sa ilalim.
Correct.
And then, so, somehow, it will be able to mix with the water from the grounds. So, are we doing something about it to make sure na the water that will really come out also will be safe for all people who will be using it?
Ang problem natin, Doc, yun kasi doon sa mga residential, hindi naman kung isang bahay lang naman, hindi naman din gano'ng problema. Kaya lang, ang problem natin doon, kung dumami na yung mga residente, dumadami na yung tao, dumadami yung factories, so yung septic tanks hindi na masyadong nagiging solution to address water pollutions. That is the reason kung mapansin mo, relate ko doon sa Boracay experience natin. Dumami yung tao,
kaya
dumami yung
nasira.
establishments. So, ibig sabihin, yung tubig, hindi na siya natitreat, ginagamit siya, and then, doon na tumupunta diretso sa doon na dumidiretso sa water body. So, can you imagine a hotel with 20 rooms and above? They cannot use septic tanks,
yes, that's
diba?
true. Kasi mag-overflow talaga yun.
Kahit na gaano kalaki yung septic tank mo. Ngayon, ang kailangan doon talaga, magkaroon ka talaga ng sewage treatment plant. Or, if there are available concessionaires doon, like for example sa Boracay, may water, Boracay water concessionaires doon. So, meron silang mga sewer line. So, yung sewer line, ito, connecta lang natin. And then, yung mga untreated wastewater nila, pumunta ng centralized STP nila.
Pero heto mga sewerage natin na mga tangke natin, USEC, is this also being mandated by law that, for every province or every city, they should be able to install one like that that will address the needs of a particular population in that particular area?
Under the Clean Water Act, kasi nakalagay, Doc Jin, doon, may provision doon na nakalagay doon na mandatory connection. If there are available sewer line in the area, residents and other commercial establishment there should mandatorily connect do sa sewer line. Otherwise, they will be violating the provision of the law. Kung wala namang available sewer line, di pa naaabot ng sewer line yan. So they are required to put up their STPs kung hindi nila ma-address yung untreated wastewater nila.
Yeah, kasi mahalaga po yun dahil eventually talaga that will impact, the health needs of the community also.
Exactly.
So why do we have to wait for an outbreak in diarrheal diseases or gastrointestinal disorders because we were medyo pabaya tayo, di po ba? So isa yan sa mga panawagan natin, USEC, that the people should have a hand in helping out, di po ba? Look at Boracay, what happened to it, di po ba? Pero ngayon, balita namin, napakaganda na ulit ng Boracay. So ilang buwan na sinara ninyo at ngayon ay maayos na po, di po ba?
Actually, yun yung naging natin closing down Boracay is one thing, rehabilitating is another thing, but sustaining all the initiatives,
changes now,
the changes that we have done there is really proving to be more challenging for us. Kasi ang mga news namin yun, masyadong sabik yung mga tao doon. Kaya lang, hindi naman sila disiplinado. Yung mga kalat nila doon naman.
Andun pa rin.
So, sabihin, tapos yung mga companies, yung mga hotels, there were reports, the reports that we received. Yung mga hotels na hindi naman namin pinayagan, tumatanggap na rin ng mga bookings.
Kahit na hindi pa dapat, di po ba?
So, sabi namin, ito na yung enforcement namin. The Secretary has already informed about these things.
Which brings me to the next question, Yusek. Do you have police powers ang DENR to be able to implement strictly kung ano yung mandatory na dapat i-implement?
Yan ang problema natin. Ang DENR kasi wala kaming police power.
Kaya ako po tinanong yan, Yusek, bago niyo ipagpatuloy. Primarily, kasi that's the one that will strong arm these people to follow.
Correct.
If you do not have police powers, you're only mandatory, you're going to dictate the laws, you're going to implement policies, but if that is not implemented or carried out, what happens?
Yung DNR kasi sa ngayon, hindi kami talagang dapat legal kasi yung kailangan namin pagdaanan. For example, may mga hotels and establishments located in wetlands, located in forest lands. So, yung sa batas kasi, na hindi namin sila po pwedeng tanggalin agad doon kahit nagbabiolate. We need a court order. So, we'll be applying first sa court para sila matanggal. May mga ejectment proceeding. Ang LGU kasi meron. May police power sila. That's the reason why we were able to demolish mga violators ng easement. Kaya makita mo sa Boracay, lumaki na yung front pitch natin. Dahil with the help of the local government units, we're able to demolish all structures violating the easement of 30 meters from the shoreline. So lumaki na yan. Pero sa amin kasi yan ang problema natin kasi we have to follow legal procedures. So hindi namin sila talaga pwedeng maalis.
And which now gives actually the need for you to be able to work together with the LGUs. If the LGUs has the police power, DENR is only a government agency that is supposed to be, you know, putting all of these policies and guidelines. It's the LGU that will implement it.
Correct.
But what if the LGU is not, you know, also that very strong in joining your advocacies? Kasi syempre po, alam natin, it's a reality also that sometimes there are also establishments there.
Ang tawag natin yan, pagka local government ay medyo hindi nagtatrabaho, there will be a failure of governance in the area. So like for example, not only in Boracay but in other tourist spots natin, ganyan ang nangyayari natin.
That's right.
This yung during yung holiday season, itong holiday natin. I was in Abra, I was in Aurora. Tinignan ko yung mga hotels doon. Can you imagine Aurora? Fast booming province, pero ang dami ng resource doon, pero wala pala silang mga waste treatment plants sa mga hotels. And wala silang areas where they can dispose their waste. So sabi ko dapat ang local government units, even without DNR or other agencies, national agencies, the local government should make sure na while they accommodate yung mga development sa areas, dapat environmental compliance will be the primary consideration. Yes,
kasi mahalaga po yun. Dahil, why do we have to wait for a disaster to happen?
Exactly.
Which we'll continue on discussing when we return. We'll take a very short break. Please stay tuned to Hope Channel.
No question about it, it damages our lungs, little by little. You see, we have cases na non-smokers, wala silang bisyo like drinking or what, pero they die of what? Lung cancer. These are the effects of pollution. Sa kapaligiran, tingnan mo naman, kahit na itong school natin, papintahan mo yan after 1 week, 2 weeks, madumi na kaagad. Kasi itong mga stains ng pollution, they stick to the walls.
Ayun ay nakaka-apekto sa ating health at nagkakaroon tayo ng sakit. Ang naging epekto naman sa ating paligiran ay yung ating mga halaman, lalo na sa mga yung vegetables na yon.
Marami rin. Marami dahil siyempre mausok ang buhay, mga kasakyan. Pag mausok, marami magkakasakit.
Kunyari ay pollution sa hangin. Kapag ito'y ating nalalanghap, ito ay nakakapagpahina ng ating immune system, so madali tayong magkasakit. Yung pollution sa ating environment hindi maganda, nakakapangit ng kapaligiran, nakakaapekto sa mga tao.
The Philippines is one of the most exposed countries in the world to many natural hazards, from earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, typhoons, flooding, landslides, and sea level rise. Our country's evident risk to natural disasters is due to its location, added to the fact that it lies in the Pacific Ring of Fire, which makes it prone to earthquake and volcanic eruptions. The country is surrounded by large bodies of water and faces the Pacific Ocean, where, statistically, 60% of the world's typhoons are formed. As we may recall, one of the most devastating typhoons that hit the Philippines in 2013 was Typhoon Haiyan, or Yolanda, which claimed over 10,000 lives and destroyed over ₱1 trillion worth of property and damage to various sectors. Still, there are other environmental problems that we are facing, such as logging, deforestation, wildlife extinction, global warming, and climate change. This episode will help us identify and examine the current policies to reduce risk in the country and the scales of vulnerability. which will help strengthen the resilience of people and society when confronted with danger.
Welcome back to Dynamic Living the Totally with our episode, Our Environment, Our Future. So, dito pa rin po tayo. Kasama natin si Yusek Leones. No? Sir, kanina po pinag-usapan natin yung mga tubig na yan na mga kailangan natin. Puntahan naman natin, isa sa mga challenges ninyo at nating lahat is the deforestation. Heto
Deforestation.
Po, yeah, deforestation. Alam po natin na because of being highly urbanized already, people need places to live in, di po ba? So marami tayong mga lugar na, kumbaga, dati nakakalbo na siya, kinakaingin, ginagawang mga kung ano-ano, minsan subdivisions pa. Ano po ang take ng DENR tungkol dito? Una, pangalawa, kailan po pwedeng payagan silang gawin yon?
Ang sa amin ngayon na nagiging problema natin ngayon dahil talagang deeply rooted din kasi yung pagpunta ng mga tao sa kagubatan natin. Siguro they want to explore yung possibility of living in a greener pasture doon sa forest land kasi dito wala na opportunity. But ang problem natin doon talagang doon na sila tumitira, nagkakaingin, resulting doon sa pagkasira ng kagubatan natin. Kaya ang ginagawa natin, twofold yun. Actually, kailangan natin, hindi lang natin kailangan rehabilitate ang nasisirang kagubatan, but yung mga poachers din dapat mabigyan din na sila ng alternative livelihood. Like for example, in our case, the government now is embarking on a very big reforestation project. We call it National Greening Program. We started this program in 2011. Kaya lang, in 2011 from 2016, we targeted to plant 1.5 million hectares. And at least nataniman naman natin yan. In fact, ngayon 1.8 million hectares na nadadag natin. From the 2010 figure of 6.58 million hectares, tinaas na natin ng dadagdagan natin. But then, ang problem natin, meron pa tayong hanggang 2028 pa. We still need to reforest about 2 million hectares pa na kalbong kagubatan. Kaya nga lang, sabi ko nga, dapat yan, combination din ng mga efforts natin. Unang-una, dapat tinataniman. Pangalawa, kinokontrol din natin yung destruction. Like for example, illegal logging, illegal occupancy, yan nandiyan mo.
At saka hindi po, isa po dapat natutukan natin nagtatanim nga po tayo, pero gaano ba karami, how many % of those new trees that we planted are really growing? Baka naman namamatay din sila. Okay, nagtatanim nga tayo. Di po ba, kasama nga sa adhikain natin, yung mga estudyante, they really have to plant a tree. And I know of a certain city, I will not mention which one, wherein it actually, encourages the private establishments that every year, pupunta sila in a certain place, meron silang parang i-adopt a place, and then they're going to plant there. Ang tanong ko lang naman sige, magtatanim tayo, pero paano naman natin malalaman kung itong ating itinanim ay buhay talaga at lalago siya?
Oo. Actually, magandang tanong yan kasi talagang we are experiencing problems din sa tinanim natin. But let us consider na ito naman kasing reforestation, hindi kagaya ito ng mga ordinary construction. Like for example, when you build a building, so pagkatapos mo maitayo yan, after several years, nandiyan pa rin yung building. Pero itong reforestation, ibang klase kasing activity ito please note that itong mga area ito ay mga marginal areas, talagang barren areas to, talagang hindi siya fertile. So ang effort lang natin talagang hinahanapan na talaga natin yung mga lugar na pwede na talagang taniman. Siguro, ang effort kasi natin, National Greening Program is not only focused on greening. Ito, ang purpose din ng ating National Greening provision and livelihood because we employ IPs and communities to plant. So, meron silang income. Pangalawa, ang objective natin sa National Greening Program natin to address yung impact ng climate change because trees really absorb carbon dioxide. So, ito yung nagiging problem natin, yung survival. Admittedly, talagang medyo mababa. Ang siguro pag tanag-tanig ko 100%, ang mag-survive yan mga less than 50%.
Or even less.
But then, Doc Jean, tingnan mo rin, kung hindi natin tataniman yung area na yun,
Wala din.
Wala ka rin.
At least may effort
kung
tayo.
matanim ka, mabuhay ng 50%.
Mabuti na lang kaysa wala.
Meron kang makukuha pa rin. Dahil kinukumpit natin doon, comparing yung talagang wala, 10 years na wala, at saka yung
Pero
10 years.
Can we have a way by which make also sure na heto silang itinanim natin ay talagang tumubo din?
Yan.
Kasi there are ways of doing that naman. Even if these are barren areas, if these are places na hindi talaga pinupuntahan masyado, we can make that part of the program kasi sustainability tayo
Ang ginagawa natin dyan, to make sure na magsusurvive, unang-una, we need to have a quality planting stocks, planting materials. So, hindi po pwede yung mga
kahit ano lang,
kahit ano. So, kailangan yan healthy. At saka tawag namin doon sa technical namin sa forestry nun hardened. Sabihin talagang matigas na yung puno. Pangalawa, dapat tinitingnan namin yung mga planting materials namin na talagang indigenous o native doon sa area. Kasi mahirap naman mag-introduce ka ng ibang mga
na hindi tutubo talaga doon.
So, yun na yung mga, through the years ng aming mga reforestation activities, we learned a lot, no? Kung paano i-increase yung survival. Quality planting stocks, yung area, dapat, ito ba, nabubuhay ba dyan? Mga indigenous species na ginagamit natin. Pangalawa, careful planning din. So, kailangan, bago namin taniman yung area, dapat pinag-aaralan namin in terms of yung soil profile nila, ano ba yung mga kailangan pang nutrients na nandyan.
Kasi kung tama po kayo, attorney, kung indigenous siya to that place, at saka very healthy yung ginamit natin, come what may, mabubuhay talaga yan
Exactly.
Di nga ba't yung mga damo nabubuhay naman? Bakit hindi ito? Di po ba? Moving onwards, hetong illegal logging, which has always been, at the forefront of why, we are also having this denudation of our forests. So, are we now implementing strictly the laws about it? Or are we also, minsan kasi pagka may bagyo, merong natamaan na isang place, and then we saw that the reason is the denudation, nagiging mahigpit tayo. And then after a while, alam mo yung culture ng Filipino, ningas kubon, pagkakailangan nandyan, we're highly active in trying to, implement and run after these illegal loggers. Pero pag after a while, nawawala naman po. So what is the program of the DENR regarding the illegal miners? Or illegal loggers muna?
So ngayon, sabi ko nga, medyo deeply rooted kasi yung illegal logging. Tagal ng problema natin. Siguro wala pa kami sa DENR, nandiyan yan. So talagang marami kasing doon nakasuporta, doon nabubuhay sa pag-illegal logging. Kaya ang ginawa natin nga doon sa programa ng DENR, dalawa yan. So, sabihin, meron kang pagtatanim at meron kang intensified forest protection. So, dito sa forest protection, nung una, ginagawa namin dyan, kinukumpiska namin yung mga kahoy, yung mga napuputol.
Napapansin ko yan, attorney, kapag dumadaan ako, alam mo, I come from the provinces, makikita ko yan, yung mga truck na may karga-kargang mga logs na yan, nakatabihan sila. Pagkatapos, pupuntahan sila ng mga nanghuhuli sa kanila. Kinukuha yung kanilang mga daladalang yun.
Ang problema namin dyan, Doc Jean,
pinukumpiska
namin. Tapos, dapat yan, ang way to dispose it, i-auction namin. We bid. Kaya lang, napansin namin, ginagawa namin, yung mga nakakuha at nananalo din, sila rin mga illegal logger. So, during the previous administration, until now, we are adopting this strategy. Lahat na nakukumpiska namin, hindi na namin binibid out. Dinodonate na namin sa DepEd.
Para gawing classrooms, schools,
gawing
lamesa, upuan.
So, can you imagine yung mga ibang mga maliit na bata?
Ang gaganda.
Ang sila nila sa mga nara,
ang
sa
ganda.
mga mahogany. So, yun na, para din to discourage na yung mga illegal loggers. Pangalawa, syempre, yung livelihood kasi. Kasi, yung mga iba kasi, kaya in-encourage namin para, kasi sa batas kasi natin, meron tayong EO 23. No logging in natural forest. So, the one way of really encouraging the community not to undertake illegal logging ay mag-provide sila ng alternative livelihood. Ang isang alternative livelihood, Doc, din na ginagawa natin dyan, we are giving them planting materials. Pinagtatanim natin sila sa plantation. So, meron silang plantation, kung gusto nilang kailangan lang pera, pang-enroll, puputo lang sila doon, bebenta nila yung planted seedlings nila.
That's a very good, that's a very
so that they
good,
will not be going to sa natural forest.
Which is a very good one, In other words, kasi everything everything actually all goes back to economics eh.
Exactly.
Kaya lang naman yan nila ginagawa dahil sa
Wala
pangangailangan nila. Pero if we're going to provide them with something else, an alternative for them
Which
to
is
earn,
better,
then that would be better. What about itong mga illegal quarrying na to? Kasi, di ba, kasama din ito sa mga minahan, kasama din ito sa rason kung bakit nagkakaroon tayo ng mga severe effects, kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng landslide. Eh di po ba? So ano po ang ginagawa natin
Ang
tungkol
ginagawa
dito?
natin ngayon may mga policy kami sa in-institute sa quarrying natin. Kasi ito yung quarrying natin, yung mga pag ang quarry kasi hindi hindi maayos ang pagkagawa. Talagang there is a possibility na mag-landslide yan. What happened in Cebu?
The most recent,
Naga Cebu. Talagang quarrying yun. Ito naman sa Itogon, mining yan eh. So, ang ginawa natin dyan, one way of really making sure that the public will be safe, eh, talagang ilalayo natin yan. Kung ito quarry operation, dapat walang community niyan. Si Secretary ngayon, nag-issue siya ng guidelines, ang policy, na dapat 1 or 2 kilometers away ang community from the ground zero or the quarry site. Kasi in that way, we can make sure na safe yung mga tao.
Just in case na malakas ang ulan, kung babagsak man guguho yung lupa doon, hindi sila madadali noon.
Tsaka dapat, alam din namin, yung amin dapat regularly monitored by our MGB, Mines and Geoscience Bureau, para nakikita natin kung saan yung possibility na talagang babagsak, talagang may mga cracks, yan. May mga indications naman din kasi. So, in that way...
Do they need a permit from your office before they can, assign that area as a quarry site or an area where they can do quarrying?
Yeah, dalawa yan.
Kasi kung merong ganon, then part and parcel nung kanilang gagawin, i-inspect mo na yung place. Gaya na sabi ninyo, yung MGB ninyo, will be able to determine if that one will really, be able to hold it, if the area is very safe, there are no cracks whatsoever.
Pagka legal yung quarrying kasi,
ayun ang problema pagka illegal.
Kunwari mo, 5 hectares, sa aming policy kasi, 5 hectares and below, ang permit niya kukunin sa local government. 5 hectares and above sa amin.
So meron kayong cut-off?
Cut-off yan. So ito mga nangyari, mga small-scale quarrying, yung marami yan, dahil LGU lang nagbibigay. Yung mga malalaki kasi, okay sa amin yan, dahil talagang inaaral natin yan eh. Meron silang mga sinasabi sa amin mga plans. So let's check natin. Yung small scale, ay yung maliit ng mga local government, yun ang nagiging problem din natin dahil LGU lang nagbibigay dyan.
But even then, since it's the LGU now who gives that permit for those that are 5 and below, why can't we just put everything, all of that, whether small or big, under your office kung ganon?
Yun ang naging policy kasi din dahil kailangan din nila kailangan din kasi ng local government yung income eh. Pangalawa, doon sila kumukuha ng mga construction materials din, yung mga local government units. So, in devolution of powers natin, devolution ng authority under the local government code, kasama yung quarry na.
Provided lang siguro, they follow what is being mandated by your office.
Kasi even large-scale or small-scale quarry,
the same lang naman
they are required to secure from us an environmental compliance certificate. So, in that way, nakumomonitor namin yung environmental compliance. Pero,
may nakakalusot pa rin.
May nakakalusot. Ang problema kasi natin, yun ang illegal. So, what happened here in Itogon?
Nitong bago lang.
Itogon nasa Baguio. Although hindi siya quarry, pero mining naman siya. Ang nangyari kasi doon, that is illegal small scale. Dahil yung area ng ginagawa nila ng nagma-mining operations sila doon. So, within the area of a mining operators, mining permittees namin. So, sabi namin, ba't yung pinapayagan? Area niyan, abandoned area nyo. Dapat protektahan nyo. Dapat walang illegal. So, dun sa party na yun, may mga pagkukulang din. Kaya, may mga mananagot din doon.
Opo. Kasi
pero yung
mahirap
quarrying kasi,
Doc
Jin, gusto ko lang i-emphasize na we attempted to suspend. Di ba? Remember mo?
Yeah, I know.
Lahat. Kaya lang, ang hirap din kasi dahil marami din tayong construction na dapat na deliver. So, nilip din natin. Pero may mga safeguards. Ilayo namin yung communities, dapat malayo, wala dun sa quarry.
Okay, and hopefully, we will be able to fill that one in the coming years or months. But let's go now to air pollution. Ito, isa naman. Alam ko, you were very actively involved in itong mga alam mo yung mga umuusok na mga sasakyan, di ba,
Smoke
binabawal
belchers.
natin yan,
Yeah.
sila, oh. Pero every now and then, we get to see them. And so, what is the long-term program and plans of the DENR regarding this? In order for us to curb, you know, the ill impacts of this smoking, of these air pollutants.
Ganito yun, Doc Gina, no? Yung sa Under the Clean Air Act kasi, may mga agencies ka rin, may mga responsibility. When it comes to mobile sources natin, that is LTO, DOTC yan. And then when it comes to factories, mga stationary sources, sa amin yan.
So, hiniwalay ninyo din sa dalawa pa rin.
Although, ang DNR oversight,
okay.
but the main function of yung LTO, sila yung sa smoke belchers, although we're support. Ang long-term program natin yan, when it comes to smoke mobile sources natin, mga vehicles, kasi sabi natin, based sa aming statistic kasi, 80% ng pollution dito sa Metro Manila, 80% galing sa motor vehicles.
So, sobrang dami ba naman?
Yeah. Can you imagine, masolve mo lang yung 80%, 20% na lang yung 20% sa DNR yan. So, ginagawa natin, long-term natin yan, which we have already started. The DNR imposed the use of Euro 4 fuel. Yung Euro 4 fuel, compare mo sa, dati Euro 2 eh. Euro 2, mataas ang sulfur content niyan. About 500.
Ngayon yung Euro 4, mas ano pa siya.
Ang Euro 4, 50 na lang yan. So, talagang drastically, we reduce the sulfur content. Yung sulfur content, alam mo naman na talagang nakaka-apekto.
Kaya nga, di ba, at sa listing natin, sa registry natin, at least we have 4,000 deaths annually coming in because of the air pollution.
Kaya nga, sabi natin, gusto natin, okay, use of Euro 4 fuel. Pero ang objective natin, if we can make use of e-vehicles. Di ba? Nagkakaroon tayo ng mga e-vehicles para walang emissions. So, yun ang mga program natin. Use of Euro 4 engine, Euro 4 fuel. Tapos later on, we will be encouraging industry to make use of e-vehicles. Yan gagawin natin sa Boracay, mga e-trikes. Pangalawa, we are proposing to the DOTC or LTO to undertake yung volume reduction, yung ni-retire natin yung mga vehicles. Ganyan ang ginagawa ng mga ibang bansa eh.
Totoo po yan. Kasi when your vehicle reaches the age of 10 and above, actually, sa ibang bansa, 5 lang and below. 3 to 5.
Singapore, 10.
10, oo. Sa iba naman, 10 taon, no? Then they are being retired. Para naman, alam mo na yung functionality niya and everything. Nagiging problema.
Ni-retire sa ibang bansa.
Dito sa ating dinadala. Kasi nagiging mura siya. So, and matigas din ang ulo natin. Kasi yun yung gusto natin bilhin. Pero, with all of this in the pipeline, Yusek, are you saying, can you tell our viewers na in the next 5-10 years, at least with all of these programs that you have, yung mga e-vehicles na yan, yung Euro 4 na yan, even yung mga tree planting natin, and yung stricter laws that will implement and follow through kung anong meron kayo, would you say that in the next 5 or 10 years, we may be able to rise above all of these changes that we are into now that will keep us safe at the end of the day?
Kung 5 years, siguro
mahirap pa.
Mahirap pa rin kasi nasa tao rin kasi yan. Like for example, tayo. Kung mga tayo gusto natin, nag-drive tayo, ayaw nating
makisakay
sa iba. Pangalawa siguro, kung ganun magkaroon ng disiplina yung mga tao na magkaroon ng carpooling, and then the government will be able to finish all yung mass transport system natin. And then yung mga tao marunong mag-save ng kanilang electricity. Baka, who knows,
kasi mapapansin mo, attorney, no, Yusek, sa ibang bansa, when you go there, ang mass transport system nila being in place, kakaunti lang makikita mong mga sasakyan na, you know, people will own for them own selves. So if we are able to do that, I think it will help solve some of our problems, no?
Ang problema natin, itong MRT natin.
Palagi nagbabag down, tumitirik eh. So let's talk about the climate change, which we started off kanina eh. Sabi nga, ang Philippines is the 3rd highest disaster risk-prone country.
Because of our location.
Yeah, because of our location, nandun tayo sa may Pacific Rim eh. Pero, ang aquatic resources natin is also highly impacted. Yung biodiversity natin nawawala. So, paano po ito?
Yan ang nagiging problem natin. Kasi nga, being an archipelagic country, island tayo, So we are susceptible dun sa impact of climate change, particularly yung sea level rise. Tapos may mga findings kami na yung mga coral reefs natin
dahan-dahang
nag-leach
sila.
na rin.
Yes.
Dahil sa tubig, minsan mainit, minsan malamig. So, ito yung inaaral natin ng mga scientists natin sa ERDB, sa BMB, on how we can protect yung mga corals natin.
At saka nagkakaroon na tayo ng mga extinct na mga species, ano?
Yeah.
Not just sa sea, yung aquatic, even sa land, yung mga ano natin, nawawala na rin sila.
Ang strategy yung ginagawa natin, Doc, din in addressing the impact of climate change, talagang hindi natin kakaya na solo-solo lang yan. It is a global problem needing global efforts. So, yun ang, sa kaya ang ginagawa natin, we are linking with other nations, ASEAN, UN, so para to help us address yung impact kasi tayo yung vulnerable
Yes, kasi third world tayo
countries, vulnerable
pero heto Yusek hetong effect ng environmental problem marami far-reaching. So, energy sa agriculture. Let's talk about agriculture bago ko makalimutan. Its impact on agriculture is also big. So, how are we going to address that? Kasi agriculture, alam naman natin, marami pa rin tayong mga nandun umaasa sa agriculture.
Ang ginagawa natin yan, nakipagtulungan tayo sa DA at saka sa, like for example, yung palay. Usually, ang palay natin talagang nabubuhay yan kung may mga tubig, di ba? Lang. Ngayon, nagkakaroon sila ng mga hybrid na palay yung pinag-aaralan ng DA.
Na pwede kahit na
pwedeng sa drought, nabubuhay na. Kahit na nakababad siya, buhay pa din siya. Kahit sa may mga bigas na silang napapag-aralan na can thrive even in salt waters. So ito yung ginagawa nating mga pag-aaral, mga adaptive measures natin so that we can cope with the effects of climate change. So, like for example, ito naman sa atin, sa DNR, we are pushing for massive mangrove reforestation, planting. Can you imagine, nangyari sa Yolanda?
Oo nga, grabe yun.
Sabi nila sa pag-aaral nila, if you have a healthy mangrove area at merong storm surge na padating or tsunami, because of that healthy mangrove area mo, it can reduce by 70% yung impact.
Malaki yun,
Malaki, 70%.
And if you reduce the impact by 70%, you can just imagine how lesser the impact is to the community.
Community, sa farm, and then sa lives. So, kaya nga sabi natin, may mga bagay kasi ang DNR ngayon na iniisip at ini-implement namin. Yung para maka-adapt sila. Kasi we cannot really change it. We cannot really...
How about our sustainable development policy? How are we now in that?
Oo. Ang example ng sustainable development na ginagawa natin, ito yung agency natin, DNR. Can you imagine? Meron kaming agency na ang mandate is extraction. Meron na kaming agency naman, reforestation and biodiversity protection. So talagang dapat nakabalance lang, Doc.
So parang lahat ng areas tinitingnan na ninyo?
Dapat balance. Kasi dapat ang tilt niyan hindi dapat towards strict conservation. Eh paano? Magugutom naman din yung mga tao, puro protection. Hindi naman po pwede na puro economics lang. Lahat naman busog, pero sira naman, wala sustainability. So it is really a balance between yung mga policies natin.
So what are the greatest challenges that you are faced with right now, your office? Ang DNR.
Sa amin, ang bukod doon sa Boracay.
Which is actually, kahit pa paano, it turned out to be okay. It's now a matter of watching in the next 6 months to 1 year what's going to happen. And afterwards,
challenge namin ngayon yung policy namin on mining at saka yung policy natin sa protection. So, total kasi, hindi naman po pwede. Sabi nga namin sa DNR, there's no such thing as small sector. Kasi sector din yan that we really need to protect.
Kahit nasabihin mo pa na 10 lang silang mamamatay.
Sila,
pero
sector.
Ano pa rin yun?
As a regulator, DNR as a regulator, dapat we need to protect yung each sectors and industries. Kaya sabi namin, mas maganda yung kalagayan. In other countries, Doc din, hiwalay. Hiwalay ang extraction. Tapos meron sila sa US, may EPA
may sarili sila. Bawat,
talagang colliding yan. So, minsan, hindi talaga makapag-implement ng programs dahil talagang yung mandate ng isa, lalaban. Sa atin, hindi. Maganda yung sa atin. Kaya
isa lang.
They are looking at the Philippines as a model dahil we were able to balance yung policies natin in terms of mining and then extraction.
Would you say, USEC, na at the level of where your programs are now, including yung inyong monitoring, no, and implementation, would you say na DENR has come a long way from years back, like 5-10 years ago to today, in terms of making sure that our environment, our natural resources are also well taken care of?
Yeah. Ako sa akin, tingin ko, hindi naman si bias din, but then I've been in the government for more than 25 years. So nakita natin yung pag-angat din. Every administration has concern, no? May mga focus sila, coastal, repo, etc. But then, maganda parang jigsaw puzzle din Isang secretary, ito yung focus. Secretary, ito. So,
and then lahat sila magbe-blend.
Pag digit-digit mo, nagbe-blend sila.
And it becomes one big cohesive event that can, help out. Thank you so much, USEC, for allowing us to do an interview on you and the programs and policies of the DENR. I know and I believe na yung mga tagapagpanood, tagapagpakinig natin, may natutunan naman din sila. Ano po ang inyong mensahe sa ating mga kababayan?
Ang mensahe ko lang sa mga kababayan natin, lalo na sa mga tagapanood natin, ang kalikasan ay hindi lang isang tao ang may responsibilidad dito. Dapat lahat tayo ay makiisa para protektahan ang environment ng ating kalikasan, dahil kung hindi natin mapoprotektahan at makonserve ang ating kalikasan at yung ating natural resources, ito'y babalik din sa atin at tayo rin ang mapipinsala. So, hinihiling ko na tulungan sana tayo ng ating mga kababayan, ang Department of Environment and Natural Resources, sa pangunguna ng ating kalihim, Secretary Simato, at ang ating Pangulo, na talagang ang gusto niya talaga ay magkaroon tayo ng maayos na kapaligiran hindi lang para sa present generation, at para din sa mga susunod na henerasyon natin dito sa mundo natin.
Yes, thank you so much, USEC. Heto po tandaan po natin, yung ating environment, kung ano tayo meron ngayon, dapat pangalagaan po natin yan. Not for ourselves, but for the future generation, yung mga apo natin, yung mga kaapu-apuhan natin, that when they look back to these years, they will tell us that we have taken good care of Mother Earth for them and for their joy and for their future. Sabi nga po sa Genesis 2:15, the Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work and take care of it. So, let us take care of what God has given to us. Magandang araw po sa ating lahat.
Dynamic living, making the best of you on fire. Dynamic living, sharing the faith we're giving the love and bringing the total you.
If you have been blessed by this program, share hope and help us continue to bring hope everywhere. Send your donations to South Philippine Union Conference through any of the bank details shown here. Hope Channel, sharing love, changing lives.
Agay, maraglapad ba na akong ulo? Inom sa kuha niya tableta para mawala ni. Maraga pa muhipoy man akong mga bukton. Ay, may nalang niapod ko yung tableta para ni. Ayay, marag wala gani may angay akong tiyan sa akong pamahaw ba? Naman po siguro ko'y tambal para sa hapto sa tiyan dire.
Hops, kadali lang higala. Nahibalo ka ba nga pwede kang madaot sa dili sakto nga pagtumar og mga medisina? Tungod kay sintetika ni, kikinahanglan gayud ang medical advice sa pagtumar ni ini. Busa, sulahi usa ang natural remedies. Ang Natural Remedies Encyclopedia adunay kapin sa 11,000 ka home remedies para sa sobra sa 700 ka mga balatian. Palit na sa Natural Remedies Encyclopedia. Sa Natural Remedies Encyclopedia, siguradong mas safe and healthy ka.
Go! Lula ta doon ang bagulangan ng isang player na.
Hindi ba? Relax lang. Apil ba?
Hindi na ka magtugay-bay. Isa lang good ka oras.
Kamula pa man kung basa ani nga libro gaw. Mapag ikaw study ayon na.
Kira na, katunga na bitaw ka.
Mogin, bisa magiging isa ka page di, wala pa may kapangabli.
Pero go, kabalo ba mo sa itong maistahan nga subject? Sige ba siya gatagog quizzes? Ingon pa kayo siya nga mag-andam ta per me?
Sis.
Pero ba, di ba nakapaminaw ka sa leksyon ni ma'am? Sus, ikaw ba?
Bito.
Bet kay ka.
Ito kayo.
Madumduman ni mo na tanan.
Sige. Sara ko oras ha?
Okay, class, get your workbook. We're gonna have a quiz.
Di na kinimayo bay ka nang... Bisa ko mapya sa inyo ha, magtuon sa ako.
Unsa? Ano man? Dula sa taba ka, isa lang.
Ato na tagad ta. Nag-text si Francis. Pwede daw siya makapil. Ta, sige, amping mo go.
Open it to page 365.
Meet the Hanson clan. Like any typical family, they have their issues. George, the father of Jennifer and Sebastian, is an atheist. His wife Suzanne is into the New Age. Suzanne's sister Mary is a born-again Christian married to Tom. Tom's mother recently died in a car accident. When Rosalind died, Tom really wanted to know what happened to his mum after death. His friends and family had many different views on the subject. George said, "Death is just the last step in our evolutionary process. When you're dead, that's all. Enjoy life today, it's all you've got." Suzanne told Tom, "This is just a new beginning for your mother. Now her soul is set free and she can come back again, perhaps as a cow or human, in the never-ending circle of life. No one ever really dies." Tom didn't like that idea too much since he's not a vegetarian. The idea that he might be eating someone's relative or even his mum someday didn't sound right to him. Tom's wife Mary said, "My dear husband, I know you must be sad, but your mother is now in heaven watching over you." At first that sounded real good to Tom, but then he wondered how much he liked the idea of his mother watching his every move now that she was in heaven. It was bad enough when he was a child. Tom's ever-so-sarcastic co-worker said, "Perhaps she went to purgatory or the flames of hell. Was she a good Christian?" As Tom thought about these conflicting views, he felt an overwhelming desire to know the truth. How could he know for certain what happens once you die? The apparent darkness beyond the grave troubled him a lot. He thought, if I die, then what? I like my life, and the idea that I might cease to exist forever is rather a terrifying. So Tom set out on a journey to discover the truth about death. He scoured the internet looking for answers, read articles and watched videos on the subject, but the more he read and the more he heard about death, the more confused he became. Perhaps like Tom, you've wanted to know what really happens after death. Unfortunately, you can't pick the after-death version you most prefer. Going up, going down, coming back around, or staying in the ground forever. You can choose to believe what you want, but that doesn't make it true. There aren't many truths on the subject, just one. Since we believe the Bible is God's word to us, we're going to discount the staying in the ground forever and coming back around ideas. The Bible doesn't support those theories. The secret to solving the mystery of death is found in the truth about the soul. Are you a soul, or do you have a soul? If you are a living soul, there is nothing that leaves your body when you die. The truth about death is important to understand because if you have a soul, separate and distinct from the body, the door is thrown wide open to the world of spiritualism. The Bible says God only has immortality. If the soul never dies, it must be immortal, but that idea is not found in the Bible either. At the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, Satan said, "You shall not surely die." Thus the first lie about man possessing immortality was told to Eve. But God said, if you eat the fruit of the tree, you will die. Who was right, Satan or God? Adam and Eve and every human being since have fallen under the hand of death. Everyone eventually dies. No one will argue that fact, but what then? A correct view of the soul is found in the book of Genesis. It says, "The Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul." Notice the word became. Man became a living soul. It took the body and the breath of life to make a living soul. The word soul in Hebrew means being or creature. With the breath of life, man became a living creature or living being or living soul. Now the question then follows, did Adam have a creature or did he become a creature? Did he have a being or did he become a being? Did he have a soul or did he become a living soul? A simple reading of the text makes it clear he became a living soul. He did not have a soul distinct and separate from the body. Take away the breath of life, and man is no longer a living soul. Simple. All that is left is the body without the breath of life. Now he is a dead soul, a dead creature, or a dead being. According to the Bible, the word breath and spirit have the same meaning. When the Bible says, "The breath returns to God who gave it," it is the same as saying, "The spirit returns to God who gave it." Some Christians believe the spirit is separate from the body, that when a person dies, his spirit goes to heaven as a conscious entity. But is this true? Note what Solomon said. "The living know that they shall die, but the dead know not anything. Their love, their hate, and their jealousy have long since vanished. Never again will they have a part in anything that happens under the sun." Tom's mother didn't go to heaven the day she died, which means he can breathe a sigh of relief. She won't be watching over his every move. The breath of life returned to God who gave it, and her body returned to the dust of the earth. God said, "Dust you are, and to dust you shall return." God banished Adam and Eve from the tree of life so that man would not live forever. It makes no sense then to say that when they died, they would live forever, either in the flames of hell or go directly to heaven as a spirit. The prophet Ezekiel said, "The soul that sins it shall die." And David said, "When a man dies, in that very day his thoughts perish." Jesus and many other Bible writers compared death to a sleep. When his friend Lazarus had been dead for 4 days, Jesus said, "He is asleep." His disciples didn't understand, so Jesus said plainly, "Lazarus is dead." When people die, they sleep in the grave until the resurrection. When you go to bed at night and wake up in the morning, 8 hours seems just like a moment in time. So it will be with the sleep of death. But what about people who say their loved ones came to them in the night and told them about heaven? Once you understand this simple truth about death, it becomes apparent that all spiritual manifestations of people who have died are illusions. Evil spirits posing as deceased friends and family who really are still in the grave. It's not difficult for evil spirits to appear as someone from the past. It happened to King Saul when he went to the witch at Endor and an evil spirit impersonated the prophet Samuel. The truth about death exposes the lies of Satan and reveals the many ways he has deceived people on earth. Paul wrote to Timothy, "The Spirit clearly says that in later times some will abandon the faith and follow deceiving spirits and things taught by demons." Tom finally discovered the truth about death. It's just a sleep until the resurrection. He doesn't go up, down, or come back around, and he doesn't have to worry about his mum watching over his every move or eating a distant relative someday. Best of all, because of Jesus, he won't pass into oblivion. He can have life after death, eternal life. And that, my friend, is the truth about death.
Sometimes, Trials are like big waves. They knock you down. Sometimes you get a chance to get up. And sometimes, oops, don't worry, you'll be alright.